Guys, this is Cricket with doTERRA Essential Oils. I'm back to do another video on bugs. All right, and since my name is Cricket, I always get so tickled to talk about bugs. But we are going to talk about specifically lice today. And I don't know about you guys, usually if you have kids, nowadays it seems like you're definitely exposed to lice. When I was growing up, I never got it and never even really heard about it, and it wasn't an issue. But nowadays, it is hitting people over and over again, and we have kind of a superbug now, a lice superbug. And why is that? Well, they're immune to a lot of the chemicals that we are using to kill them. So now it takes a whole lot more, and really the chemicals are not as effective as maybe they once were. So we have gone through lice personally. Our family has now had it 4 times, and I'm sure we're going to have it more. I'm not surprised. I mean, we do have 5 children. 3 of them are girls, which means with, slumber parties and sharing hats and scarves and brushes and just the way girls get together, I'm sure lice is being spread very easily that way. So we're always extremely horrified when we find out we have it, and then we rack our brains trying to think, who were we with, who have we exposed, and who may now also have it. So over the years, I've become a lot more confident in dealing with it, so it doesn't freak me out like it used to. But let's just say that the first time we got it, yes, I was appalled. And I wasn't really doing oils at that time, but I can't even really say that I would have used the oils because I don't know if I was comfortable enough with it, and I don't know if I would have truly felt that the oils would have fixed the problem. So of course I raced to the drugstore and picked up a pack of all of the chemicals. I thought, yay, we're going to tackle this. So they were effective. They killed the lice. We went through the procedure. They have a little comb in there that I have to say I've learned now. I would not use the little combs that are in there. They're just not very powerful. I would get a really good knit comb, a really good metal one. Actually, I just had a friend mention a Roby comb that's electrified. That's even more powerful. So I've got to look into that. So now we got rid of it the first time, and then a few months down the road, we got it again. And so at this point, something clicked, and I thought, gosh, I can't keep putting chemicals on my kids' scalps. It's getting into them, into their systems. It's right there next to their brain. I've got to find another alternative. So that's when I turned to the oils. At that time, I was into the oils, and I did trust that it was worth a shot. So I just want to let you know now that we have had it 3 other times, and we've used the oils every single time and have been totally effective. So I just kind of wanted to walk you through the procedure of what we do and kind of show you how we put it on their scalp and how we wrap them and how much time. And we do feel like we're able to kind of get rid of it, within a few days. It's a very tedious procedure. I'm sure you guys all know. Once you have lice, once you identify that, it's very important to gather up all of your blankets, your sheets, clothes, pillows, whatever you can, and get them into the washer. Get them on the sanitized cycle, throw them into the hottest setting of your dryer. And then at that point, be very diligent in making sure that you don't reinfect any of those items. For the items that you don't want to wash, maybe like decorative pillows, maybe some special blankets that might ruin the consistency of them, just throw them in a big garbage bag, tie them up tight, throw them in the garage for a couple of weeks. And at that point, they should all be dead if there are any on there, and you can bring them back into the house. So first, I like to put together a little solution that I'm going to put on the scalp of my child. And so I'm kind of that type where I use everything. I will get online and research. I'll look in our book, all of our resources that we have for researching the oils. And I kind of do a little of everything for the most part. This is where it's really nice when you have a lot of oils, because whenever anything pops up, it's nice to just be able to say, okay, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one, and I can try that. There are a couple of oils that are definitely known to be very, very effective for lice. The main one that you guys might have heard of is Melaleuca. Melaleuca is also known as tea tree oil. So this is definitely one that I'm going to want to use. Another one that doTERRA has come up with is called TerraShield. It's their repellent blend, and it has a lot of different oils in here. that are very effective, not only for lice, but as an insect repellent in general. And they also have a spray bottle one that you can take with you camping, whatever. And it's, again, very effective. There are a lot of great things in this blend, but I also am going to add even more, again, just because I want to get rid of these little buggers. Another top one that is usually suggested is eucalyptus. And we have geranium is another possibility. And maybe you only have melaleuca. And if that's the case, just use that one. Just start with that. That'll probably be plenty effective. I just like to kind of overkill. Rosemary is another suggestion. And then Arbor Vitae, this is kind of a new one that came out, gosh, it's probably been about 2 or 3 years ago. And this is, actually it smells like Home Depot to me. It smells like sawdust. I don't know, I just love it. So I'm gonna throw that in there too because this is another natural insect repellent. So this is what I would do. I would use fractionated coconut oil. This is going to be my carrier. And I am going to just get a little bowl. Here's just a little one that I can use. And I'm just gonna put in enough to kind of cover the scalp area. So I don't know, that's probably a couple of teaspoons worth. You don't really need a ton. It's just to kind of help it, you know, if you're just putting the drops on, you're only kind of reaching a certain area, but if you put it in a carrier oil, like fractionated coconut oil, or maybe even a shampoo, or I'm sure there's some other options, it'll just help it cover the surface area of the scalp, and that's kind of what we want to hit. So once I've done that, and I have my fractionated coconut oil in there, Gage, okay, thank you. Let's not do this right now. It's great to be able to do this because we have kids that can always join us. Gage, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my oils, the ones that I have decided I want to use. So I'm going to, let's just throw in rosemary, and I'm just going to do a couple of drops of each. Plenty effective to only do a couple of drops. You only actually need 1 drop to service every cell in your body. Isn't that great? But what we're trying to do is basically suffocate and kill these little guys. Sounds so harsh, huh? So geranium now, and eucalyptus. So again, I just put in a couple of drops each of rosemary, melaleuca or tea tree oil, Arbor Vitae oil, TerraShield, which is their repellent blend, geranium, and eucalyptus. And that's it. That is all I really need. You can't really see it in there, but I'll just stir it around, and then I will go ahead and apply to the scalp, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to use my daughter as she's going to be my little model. So we will work on that next, and I will show you, so stay tuned. Guys, we are back. So I have my little model here, and I'm going to show you how we put on the oils on the scalp to treat the lice. All right, so I'm just gonna dip my fingers in here, and we're just gonna start applying all over the scalp. You don't actually have to get the hair, we're just getting it on the scalp part, and cover as much of it as possible. And even if you don't get all of it, it's okay, because we're going to put a bag on her head, which she loves, and tie it up really tight so that it will kill the lice. Now what I have found when I do put the bag on, if I were to leave it on for like about 2 hours, and then when I brush it out and brush out the lice, I will notice that they're usually still alive, but they're kind of lethargic. And they eventually will die, of course, but I prefer to make sure that they are completely dead. So I actually suggest just leaving it on for around 4 hours or more. So, you know, make a day of it, watch movies, whatever. And then afterwards, after we rinse it all out, after that 4 hours, we'll wash her hair, and then I usually like to dry it, And then I'll usually sit down and, well, after I go through it with the nit pick and pick everything out as best I can and try to find all the nits and eggs and lice that way. And then I will dry her hair, and then I will sit down and I will go through it section by section. And I know it's super tedious, but then I look for any extra miscellaneous eggs or nits that we may have missed. So I know when I used the chemicals from the grocery store and I used that little brush that I was talking about, the little pick that came with it, I literally would, the first time I did this, I sat down and picked out eggs for 5 hours. It was ridiculous. But that's how low quality the little comb was and how ineffective it was. So that's why I really suggest getting a really good comb to get out as much of it as possible so there aren't that many that you're gonna find afterwards. Okay, so I've used most of the oil. Again, we're just trying to cover it all as best we can and be thorough. Use it all. Okay, so then we're going to get a plastic bag, just your typical ones that you would use, and today it looks like it's going to be Walmart. And we are going to just tie this over her hair. So I'm just going to try to get it all in the bag. Awesome, thank you.
Hey guys, do you see how much pennies I have?
So, it looks funny, but it works. And again, it's really nice when you can do stuff from home and just find solutions that aren't very expensive, so you don't have to go out and buy really expensive things. If you have your oils, you're only using a couple of drops. You know, invest in a good comb, and it's awesome. I mean, I love that we have that power as moms to take care of a lot of things in our home. We hardly have to go to the doctor and deal with all these other things. I remember when I first looked into it, I looked at they have services, they charge hundreds of dollars to actually pick out all the lice for you. And it was a whole new world when we were first exposed to lice. Okay, so I will just tie it.
I'm not showing you.
She wants to be a blind model. She doesn't want anyone to see this. So we're just going to try to get as much of the hair in as possible. Okay. Now usually, as you know, lice is most common around the ears and the back of the neck. So that's usually where I will find it. So if I'm just searching to see if they have it, that's usually where I will find it. So you can see we've just covered all the hair and then tied it tight. And if the bag's kind of loose or anything, I'll kind of just get all the air out. Maybe use a little scrunchy thing and tie it even tighter. And usually at this point, that's when we start getting everything in the laundry, cleaning up the house, vacuuming, and getting rid of cleaning anything that was ever exposed to lice and that lice might be on. So that's what we'll usually do for the next 4 hours. But at least that way she can have it on her head and be waiting. So that's what it looks like. And then we'll get her into the tub. We'll show you how we will rinse it out and pick it out next. So yes, I would suggest if you can, try to leave it on for at least 4 hours to get them, to kill them all, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys, talk to you later. All right, you guys, so we are back for round 3 of our lice treatment with the oils. And my daughter, we've gone off and she's washed her hair. And that's usually, after we take off the bag after 4 hours, that's usually the first thing I have them do is go wash their hair. Of course, I love doTERRA's shampoo and conditioner. And one thing I do suggest is getting a good conditioner, because afterwards when you're picking through it, to get all of whatever remaining dead lice and nits are in there, you're going to want something that's easy to comb through. So I really love their conditioner. I feel like that's definitely smoothing. And then also, whichever shampoo you do use on a regular basis, consider putting in some Melaleuca or TerraShield. Put a few drops of oils in your shampoo bottle as another way of getting that into your scalp on a daily basis and helping deter future lice. So just keep that in mind. So after we wash the hair, I usually will just pick through it, well, with a regular pick, so it's just easier to comb through. Now, we had already done a full treatment a few days ago, and usually after we've done everything, we've cleaned everything, we've picked everything, looks good, the next morning I will go through their hair again and just double check to see if there are any new eggs, because every once in a while you'll miss an egg, and you might even miss a lice, but you might miss an egg and it'll hatch and you start the whole process over again, and so it's super frustrating. So that's why you need to stay on top of it and be checking it at least a couple times a day. And then when, and I would say, you know, give it a good week of just checking and making sure for certain that there are no new eggs. So once their hair is wet, put the towel in here, and so what we did is we did it all, it looked great, and then I searched again and just found a couple of new eggs. So something was going on, so that's why we went ahead and did another treatment to kill whatever is still there. So our experiences are different. Sometimes in a couple days we've totally wiped it out. It's just, again, one little nit can start it all over again. So here's an example of the nit comb that I have. And there might be, again, other ones out there. I mentioned the Roby is one that a friend of mine had talked about. But this has been pretty effective for us. It's very, very close together, the prongs, and it's a really good, strong metal one.
Don't you go upside down?
So, no, that's fine. So usually I'll just kind of go section by section and comb it out. And like our kids, we love to do it kind of over like a white bathtub, so we can actually see what comes out. And so the first day is always fun because you find all kinds. So, and every time we'll just keep checking to see if we see anything new. Now, if you haven't seen lice before, it might be hard to identify them. You kind of get good, really good at it after a while. The nits are kind of like a shiny teardrop. It kind of really stands out, and they're usually, you know, pretty close to the root. And unlike dandruff, they won't flake off. So you actually have to take your fingers and actually pull it off of the hair strand. Usually when you're doing it over the tub, again, you'll see all these lice, and they're usually all dead. After 4 hours, they're usually all dead, and you'll comb them out with the little pick here. So I'm not even sure if we'll find anything. We just wanted to be extra certain that we've searched, and obviously in a video I can't really totally tell you if they're show you what it looks like, because it's kind of hard. And it looks like I might have found an egg there. But so I'm not going to go into major details and show you everything. But this is what I would do. I would keep going through this until you feel comfortable that you've kind of gotten everything. And especially the nape of the neck again and over the ears is usually where most of the eggs are. And then make sure you kind of keep it contained. Now clean it out in the sink. Wash the towel that you used. And once you feel like you've got most of them, then I usually do a blow dryer and blow dry their hair on the hottest setting. Heat can sometimes help destroy them, and if you get your hair colored, that can also be useful. If you get your hair colored often, you probably have less chance of getting lice. Once I blow dry it, once it's dry, then I will actually go through, and I'm not really finding a lot going on, so we're just kind of making sure we're good. Once it's dry, then I will actually, it's easier for me to see everything, and it's easier to kind of pull everything away. So I'll just kind of go piece by piece, and I know it's tedious, and like I said, the first time I did it took like 5 hours because I really didn't have good tools. But now I can sit down, they can be in front of the TV or something, and I'll just go section by section, and it's actually really easy to see them. And I will just kind of move all this hair down piece by piece, and I would say, you know, sometimes 30 minutes, an hour maybe, just to be extra certain that you found every single egg that you can. And then the next morning, again, double check, go through the same procedure, see if you see any new eggs. Sometimes you'll miss one and you'll find another one. So you want to see if if you're seeing new eggs in the coming days that you're pretty sure you didn't miss previously, and that's when you're going to maybe want to do another treatment. Then whenever, again, they're around, make sure that you keep their hair up and you know, usually in a bun or something, making sure that they're not laying on the typical pillows that we use, or getting their heads next to any of their peers or their siblings, to kind of prevent the spreading of it if there is a little nit or an egg or a lice that's still there. And so anyway, that's our procedure for taking care of lice. Regardless if you use chemicals or oils, it's still going to be a relatively tedious process, but do have confidence knowing that the oils actually are very, very powerful, and they will absolutely take care of these little guys. And if you do have any other questions, please feel free to message me. If you do want to get going with the oils, please message me. I would love to be able to help you out and get you on our team. So you guys have an awesome day, and we will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.